Before we move to our closing segment, we want to discuss how conflict can actually be a source of strength in your relationship. How could that possibly be? How could conflict and arguing actually make you a better relationship?
You actually said it a few minutes ago, which is after we had that conflict on our trip, that you moving forward, that helped you understand. So you learned something about me. And that's never a bad thing. That's always going to be a positive that you learn something about somebody, especially if it helps you in the future work with
Ooh,
them.
you don't like absolutes. And so when you throw
Did I?
when you throw out absolutes, that's always a
Oh,
positive thing. And I'm like, wait a
ooh.
minute, there's some things I learned about people I don't think helps at all. But I will agree with your premise there that
In the
yes, yeah,
relationship.
that in your relationship, when you go through and you come out the other side of a conflict, if it's done in a healthy way, there's an opportunity to learn something that I might not do that again. Or in this case, I learned how you were perceiving what I was doing, how you were feeling what happened in that moment. And I can avoid that. Yeah, that's a great one. How else does conflict actually strengthen a relationship?
It gives you confidence. Hey, we argue, especially if you've had a history of relationships that broke up after an argument. By working through an argument with your partner, it gives you the confidence. You come out the other side and you're still together. Oh, wow. We had an argument. We worked it out together and now we're fine. It didn't end in a breakup. And for the most part, it shouldn't end in a breakup if you've talked about it.
And you mentioned something that's interesting there. It's if you've been in repetitive relationships where arguments have led to breakup, then your tendency is to, oh no, we're arguing, we're going down this road again. And that's an interesting thing. And I think over time, we're so far removed from that we don't get security by existing through conflict. But I can see how in an early relationship, every successful conflict, every successful resolution just sort of goes, oh yeah, we're in this together. Cool. That's a great one. I had not really thought of that in that clear thought. What else?
Well, you have an increased buy-in in the final solution because you came up with it together. And if you've come up with it together, then you feel it's not just you tell me what we're doing or I'm saying what we're doing. We came up with it together. And so we both, confidence, not the word, but we're committed, I guess, to whatever that solution was because we came up with it together and it wasn't a unilateral, this is what we're going to do.
Anything else? Any other ways that it can? I mean, if you put these tools to practice, I think you become the frequency of your arguments or your conflict reduces when you get better at resolving those ahead of time. So we talked about active listening and we talked about reflective listening, or we talked about taking your time outs. I would say in our relationship, the number of actual true conflicts we have is way lower now than it was 20 years ago because we avoid them by simply listening better or resolving them early, or we take the pause. And so instead of having these rolling fights, we take a pause, we come back, we address it in a single situation. That the less
Yeah.
fighting is actually an outcome of having your conflicts or less conflict.
Yeah.
That sound right?
Yeah, I would agree.